All right. Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
Hi, Gary.
And we're going to read about the weather in Florida.
Weather. Talk about the weather. Now we're recording.
So had back-to-back hurricanes with Helene and Milton that having a devastating effect on states in the southeastern part of the United States. And you look at what happened with Florida, and you just wonder, how are people even going to be able to vote? Are the ballot boxes, have they drained the ballot boxes yet of all the excess water in there?
The ballot boxes have floated to a new district.
Yeah. If how are people going to be back in their homes? Are they going to be interested in voting? If you have mail-in ballots, what's going to happen with those? You can just imagine that something like this 3 weeks and a couple of days before the actual election, the impact it might have, nature's voter suppression, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, maybe why Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that Democrats control weather, because clearly they're trying to impact the election.
Yes.
Controlling ways.
Those Democrats with their weather controlling methods. Yeah, and apparently they're only hitting Republican areas with this weather in order to disrupt the election.
I'm done. Get me off this planet.
Yeah,
I want to lay down an ultimatum with God. Me or them? Us or them? Make your choice.
Well, that's maybe what this election's all about. But what's crazy, Dave, is that 8 years ago, if someone would have suggested that the Democrats had some sort of weather control machine to sway the election results, we would have everyone would have looked at that person and just like they had a horn growing out of the middle of their head. And now you've got thousands of people believing this crap.
It's kind of funny. It's what used to disqualify you from being a viable candidate is now celebrated.
Now it makes you more popular with your base. It's just nuts. And the fact that they're so far gone that they're willing to believe it is just stunning to me.
I got nothing for you. Absolutely nothing for you.
Total agreement there, huh? Yeah. So we're gonna take a look at weather impacts on Florida. Florida is definitely an interesting state in this election, because with Trump and Vance's Haitian eating the dogs, eating the cats, they've really kind of galvanized the Haitian community, which there are many down in South Florida.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be coming out en masse. I mean, they typically vote Democratic anyways, but this may motivate more of them to show up and vote Democrat. Right. And then Trump's latest ploy is to blame that Biden and FEMA are just not doing anything. They're giving $750 to everyone, and then that's it. But they'll give millions to migrants because they want them to vote Democrat. It's just the lies on top of lies on top of lies, and it just makes you wonder when that finally implodes, because it's just such a house of cards. At what point is it just so far gone that even MAGA's like, okay, even that's a little to the right of me?
And there's nothing to the right of MAGA. MAGA is a fluid cult that's in the enthrall of their dear leader. And there's nothing that is too far or too extreme for them.
Hey, I like your shirt. Is that a Marx shirt?
I pull it down a little bit.
Yes. You're such a Marxist.
I'm a Marxist.
That looks like a Groucho Marxist.
It is definitely a Groucho Marxist. I had a second shirt, but unfortunately it's mildly damaged, so I'll have to give them a heads up saying, hey, about this shirt, it didn't quite come undamaged.
Is that a Zazzle order, or where did you get that?
ePublic, I think. ePublic. The other one was also Groucho Marx. that says Marxist on it, but it's it's that red blue background. Looks like a poster that they have on there. But part of this final thing was folded over and stuck to it itself. And as it pulled it apart, it pulled it off the shirt. It stuck and pulled it off the shirt. Almost like they had steamed it. It was hot. They folded it, and then the hot vinyl stuck to itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's much more likely to stick to itself than it is to the fabric of the shirt.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the weather in Florida and how the impacts of the weather on the election.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got there? Why don't you make your screen big, and then I'll pull the lid off of my sourdough bread here.
You go do that, and I will remind folks that this is for entertainment purposes only. Looking at, a couple of hurricanes back to back, elections coming up. There's no guarantee there won't be another hurricane in the next 3 weeks. So entertainment purposes only. What do we got going over here? Well, we got the sun card. Maybe there won't be another hurricane in the next few weeks. Maybe they'll finally have some sunny weather in the Sunshine State. But it's also kind of an eye-opening event here on climate change and the reality of it. Because when you hear DeSantis say that there's no climate change isn't real and it's a hoax and Democrats control the weather, it's unbelievable that the truth will win out. I think right now. I don't think there's going to be any more hurricanes. We got the sun card and we have the rainbow. And it's funny because after the storm, you only can see a rainbow when there's water, like rain or something like that, because it's bending the sun's light into this. This might be waking some people up.
Yes.
The government has a role in their lifetime, even if it's FEMA. And you don't like FEMA, hey, at least they're there for you when you need them. And there's a whole lot of problems from some videos I'm watching. There's a whole lot of problems that Florida needs to worry about because they have a fund to help supplement insurance for damaged and destroyed properties. And the damage from Milton already exceeds that fund's capacity. It's like the fund has 17 billion and Milton did 50. So it exceeds that. So is the federal government going to step in? If the federal government steps in to help Florida, are they going to have to step in to every other state that exceeds their budgets? Okay. In the past, you got the Page of Cups here. Just people believe in the lies. This is your MAGA, this is your QAnon folks. Climate change isn't real. Just believing everything that DeSantis is saying on that. And now here's the thing. In the 3 weeks that they probably will be calm before the election, there's going to be a lot of bickering, arguing. The Australian term is the argy-bargy. We use the hillbilly brawl card. The Republicans are really hoping that FEMA fails because they want to make this political. And it wouldn't surprise me if they put up obstacles. Even if they don't put up obstacles to FEMA could be doing great. They're going to say FEMA's doing lousy. So there's a truth war going on here about FEMA and the federal government taking care of the people. And really the pushback should be back to DeSantis. Well, what are you doing to help? Why aren't people looking at DeSantis saying, hey, they offered you help and you said no? We're in our time of need and you're saying no to help? Why would you do that? Overarching energy is the Page of Swords. And it's really a simple question. Start asking the questions on this. The lesson to be learned is the Six of Wands, the victory card, paying attention to things. The hurricanes and the weather are almost trying to snap people out of their little mental state that they're in, the cult that they're in, and get them to start thinking again and asking just even the most simple, basic questions. Because if you do that, Ron DeSantis and the Republicans' arguments fall flat on their face. It doesn't make any sense. The outcome is the Nine of Swords. There's a lot of anxiety in Florida right now. People are worried about their homes. They're worried about how are they going to build back up again. And now you got this election coming on. I think in some ways this will cause voter suppression. This card right here is telling me that there'll be voter suppression in there because some people are simply not going to vote because they're so worried about going through the anxiety of contacting insurance. Are they going to replace my home? My car's floated away. How am I going to do this? There's like a lot of work they have to do to get their lives back in order, that voting may not be the top thing on their priority. And if they do vote, it could very well be colored by the people that are helping them the most in their time of need. Just a new way of looking at things, moving past the bitching and arguing and just moving back to, but they helped me get my straighten things out with the insurance, or got me a place to live while damage is being assessed on my house. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic, to say the least.
Yeah, no, the star card was the one that really just I could have stopped after the star card. To me, that's like it's
star card didn't come down.
I'm sorry, the sun card, the foundation, because it's just like, okay, the truth is out there for everyone to see at this point. There's nothing more that needs to be said here, and for the people that are impacted, they see the relief workers out there helping them.
Yeah.
And so Trump's got his talking point, but it's got to be for people that aren't getting relief, because the ones that are getting relief know that he's lying.
And I think there's something to be said for that, because imagine the rural communities be impacted. The rural communities will step up to help each other. And they're going to know how much FEMA is or is not doing. And so when you're hearing the propaganda that FEMA is a complete disaster, the rural folks that are working with FEMA are going to know that it's not a complete disaster. They know they're going to be lied to, or at least it's not a disaster in their area, and they're not going to understand where the disaster is. And that could insulate them a bit from the tactic of saying the federal government's failed and you need a new federal government.
Okay, so I want to do a throw on: is Trump's messaging going to? I don't want to be wishy-washy to say impact the election, but how about improve his election performance in Florida?
Sure.
Okay, so for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so will Trump's messaging about Biden's and FEMA's response, will that resonate with voters and make them think that voting for Trump is the way to go? Okay, that actually wants to be cut right there. Okay, so foundation of the reading. Chariot. Okay, so Trump's got his message out there. There's obviously some very slow progress being made on getting people back on their feet and drying out in Florida, crossed with the Five of Cups, sorrow. So, the people that have been impacted by this hurricane, they want to start making forward progress, but man, they're looking around and going, oh my God, the devastation around us, possibly caused by a hurricane, possibly caused by Democrats controlling the weather. Underneath it is the Eight of Cups, emotionally walking away. I think people are looking around at their situation, and I suspect that they're more than likely going to say, you know what, this climate change thing, there might be something to it. And they're starting to walk away from Trump's emotional attacks and plays on their fears. In the past, the Queen of Swords, they've been told that climate change is coming, and that these types of hurricane events are going to become more and more common. And now that we've told you this was going to happen, and you've ignored it. It's funny how this one showed up again.
Mm-hmm.
The current situation is the Page of Cups. Trump's out there. They're out there saying the Democrats have a weather machine and they're controlling the weather, and they're attacking Republican counties and Republican areas in order to suppress votes. I mean, it's just ludicrous on what they're saying. That's their current messaging. Overarching energy is the Knight of Wands. Certainly Trump came out with his messaging, but finally Biden came back with some quick messaging in response, which is, Trump, you're just full of nonsense. You're what you're saying is crap. FEMA out there, they're helping. We've got all the programs available to people. They have the resources for them. So it's trying to take the message away from we're not responding, that the government's being unresponsive, to actually we are, and the people on the ground can see this. Lesson to be learned is the Six of Cups. It's not the good old days anymore. You know what? Our environment is changing. Our climate is changing. The red MAGA hat wearers who would just automatically vote for whoever had an elephant next to them when they went to the ballot box. You know what? Those days may be over. Those emotional days of, yay, I'm a Republican, yay, go red, go elephant. Those days are behind them. There's just like, no. We're in a different reality at this point. And anyone who's believing Trump's messaging is living in the past. They're fooling themselves. The outcome, boom, Daddy-o. Three of Cups. This is my Democrats and Republicans coming together and voting blue on the election card. This is not going to have a positive impact for Trump. Just the opposite, in fact. Dave, I think Florida's going blue. I think this 1-2 punch of these two hurricanes, Trump's really crappy messaging, and the nonsense they're spewing is going to turn Florida blue.
The general vibe getting from that is that they've got bigger concerns that they need to deal with in the here and now. And, it's a luxury to have the emotional outrage that's propagated by weather-controlled machines and people eating dogs and cats in a different state. That's a luxury that you have when you can be outraged by those things. Right now, they don't have the bandwidth. That 8 of Cups to me was bandwidth. They don't have the emotional bandwidth to be outraged at Haitian communities in Ohio, allegedly stealing people's pets. They don't have the bandwidth for that. What they're looking at now, is who's helping me now. Yeah. With your 6 of Cups card there. Who's helping me now that when my chips are down, who's there to help me? And that's who I'm voting for.
Yep, totally. And you're I think you're absolutely on point. When like they say, idle hands are the devil's workshop. When you have lots of free time, you have lots of free time to bitch and look for conspiracy theories and stuff, right? Yeah. But when you're busy, you just don't have time for that nonsense. I got bigger fish to fry than worrying about your latest conspiracy theory. You
can almost hear somebody snapping at somebody saying, as they're trying to, reclaim their identity, get replacement credit cards or replacement driver's licenses, file insurance paperwork for their vehicles and the damage to their house. You have their neighbor, it's the Democrats with their weather machine deal. It's like, will you shut the hell up? I don't have time for your tomfoolery. I've got some serious crap I'm dealing with here. The last thing I need is you trying to get me pissed off. I'm already pissed off.
Yep.
I'm already got to deal with this. I don't have time for your emotional drama.
Yep.
And I think that's where that's it. They don't have time for drama. There's no energy for it.
Yeah. Exactly. They're spent.
Yeah.
Emotionally spent.
Yeah, and I think that's where that page of cups comes in for the folks that are still like, "Hey, take another sip from the Kool-Aid here."
Yeah.
Folks saying, "No, we're done."
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I got enough liquid around me.
All right. I don't know if I think that to me, without having to ask the obvious questions, I think that gives you the answer. Does it impact the election? Yeah, it does. It does. People, and the way it impacts the election is if you don't have time for the drama and you're focusing on recovering from this natural disaster and you're looking to see who's helping you, who has your best interests out there, then you kind of know who they're going to vote for, who they're not going to vote for.
I see some black ears. Hey, Nico!
He's joined
the Hey, big boy.
Yeah, big is right.
On. I'm helping. If only Nico had some blue glasses, he would really be bringing it.
Let's see. Put these on you.
You got to turn around, Nico. The people want to see it.
The wrong way. Okay.
Hey, so thank you for all watching this. We really enjoy doing these for you folks, and we hope you enjoy watching them. If you like it, please give us a thumbs up. If you really like the nonsense, feel free to subscribe. We just hit 13,000 subscribers yesterday. Woo! On our way to 14,000. Minus Touch is on their way to 4 million. We're on our way to 14,000.
Yeah, they've got 300 and 3 million and 14,000. 3 million, 3.914. We got the 0.014. Anyways, but yeah, thank you for your support. We do appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Bye.